if I had any tips on developing a digital nomad law firm. And the funny part is that I actually had some really good tips and then I erased the video accidentally. So I'm going to answer that question because I think that person is on here. And I told him I was going to record a video for him yesterday. So if you're trying to start a digital nomad law firm, and basically anyone that doesn't know what that means, that basically is a law firm where you can work wherever you want to work, where you're not tied down to an office. And there's a lot of, especially with the internet now, there's a lot of digital nomads that are basically, they've got online businesses and they can work for anywhere, from anywhere. I can do this. I do this with my business. I'll, if I go on vacation, sometimes I'll still get a little bit of work done every now and then, but technically I can work from wherever I wanted to. So the biggest thing you're going to have to focus on, and this probably goes without saying, is going to be your practice area. Typically you don't want to have a practice area where you're going to have to go to court a lot. Although we did have a client a long time ago, like 5 years ago, maybe, he lived in Portland. He was a criminal defense attorney and he only took really high profile cases. And he had the luxury of being one of the most reputable defense attorneys out there, and he didn't take, small DUIs. He took like serious felonies that were, $50,000 or more to hire him. So he had a small number of cases, and somehow he was able to travel constantly. And I think the way he worked it out was he was gone for 20 days and he was home for 10 days. So he successfully did this. He somehow successfully did this, although I think it's pretty hard. So somebody said trademark lawyer, be a trademark lawyer. Yeah, intellectual property, estate planning, you might be able to do this with. Immigration, because it's a national thing. So that's going to be, and business also. Business is going to be a really good one. But that's going to be your first thing, is you've got to make sure that you've positioned yourself with your actual practice area that you can actually do this. The next thing is to make sure that you have a good support staff. So one of the most important things is going to be getting clients. So to do that, you want to make sure that you have a call center in place. And so that way, if you're on the other side of the world, you'll be getting calls all night. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be the one. And really, you don't want to be answering the phone on a cell phone anyway. So get a good call center in place. I recommend either Smith.ai. They're really good. Answering Legal is really good. Voice Nation's really good. And there's another one that we use that I can't remember who it is. Answer First. That's who it is. So probably in that order, I'd say, Smith AI, what did I say? Answering Legal, Voice Nation, Answering First. So that's something. Now, the next thing is you want to make sure that you have probably a decent support staff. Now, your support staff can come in a few different ways. If you have people that are working for you that are disciplined enough to be working from home, that's always the biggest challenge, is finding people that can actually work from home. That's one of my biggest struggles. I mean, we've had, our team is completely work from home, and we've had a lot of people that we've hired that have said they can handle working from home, and they really can't handle working from home. So that's something that's really challenging. You have to make sure they have a good computer, that they're reliable, that they have a good phone service, that they have good internet, all that type of stuff, that they have a quiet place to work, and that they're going to actually do the work. When this actually happens, though, you end up with happier and more productive employees because of the fact they're not wasting time driving to and from the office. They're not wasting time on their lunch break. They're not wasting time, BSing with coworkers at the water cooler, all that type of stuff. So it actually is a much better, it's a much better environment. I would never work in an office again. I love working from home. And I think that my employees probably agree with that. So the other thing you can do is a virtual assistant. Now, I wouldn't have a virtual assistant answering the phone and probably client facing, but there's a ton of stuff that you can do that you can have a virtual assistant do that is administrative stuff that will save you a ton of time and a ton of money. And honestly, virtual assistants do a really, really good job. I like hiring from the Philippines. I use Upwork.com to hire my virtual assistants. And I've got an entire training on how to hire virtual assistants in my Social Media Marketing for Lawyers Masterclass. And actually, if you go to lawyermasterclass.com, part of that training talks about how to hire virtual assistants. Like I said, the Philippines is where I hire my virtual assistants from. I don't know why. I just think they do a good job. I've had some virtual assistants from the Philippines who have been with me for 6-7 years. It's kind of crazy. Actually, if you can see this picture right, where am I? Right above the American flag right here. That's actually a character of my entire family. That was actually painted for me for my birthday last year by one of my virtual assistants in the Philippines. She actually sent that to me. So that was pretty cool. So the tech stack that I recommend, so Slack is really good for just managing everything inside of your company. We use Slack to manage all of our stuff. So that's all of our company communication. Google runs through Slack. Our credit card processing runs through Slack. So if credit cards decline or anything like that, it all goes through Slack. So I recommend using Slack. Dropbox for file storage is what you'll probably need to use. We use Zoom for our meetings. We have we have a daily meeting once a day, actually 4 days a week with our team. The whole thing's done on Zoom. Works really well. Most people are used to Zoom by this point anyway. And then the last thing, I said Dropbox. We use Dropbox for file management. The only thing you need to make sure about with that is if it's secure enough for you. I'm pretty sure Dropbox is very secure. I know I have a client that uses Box. I don't know why. I don't know if that's because it's more secure or if that's just what she prefers. I'm not really sure about that. And then Trello also is what we use for project management. So, you know, that's a bird's eye view of how to do a digital nomad law firm. One thing I recommend is check out The 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. That's a really good book that can help you if you really want to kind of take this next step. It's not specifically for lawyers, but it teaches you kind of how to really manage your time, how to manage virtual teams, how to do all that type of stuff, and basically only work 4 hours a week. It's pretty cool.